I'm a sound hunter. That's what I call myself. My name is Rohan, and I record what the world tries to forget. The whistle of wind through a ruined fort in Rajasthan. The drip of water in a dry stepwell in Gujarat. I believe that every place has a sonic signature, a frequency, logic, physics, nothing mystical. That's why I came to this isolated village in the Himalayas. They said the old monastery on the mountainside, Gomaikla, was the quietest place on earth. The locals, with their averted eyes and clicking prayer beads, said it was silent because it was hungry. I scoffed at them. Silence isn't hungry, it's just empty. And I was here to record that emptiness. The air here is thin and cold, tasting of metal. The village clings to the cliffside like an abandoned swallow's nest. The monastery was even higher, a gray pile of stone and rotting wood clinging to the mountain. The locals refused to guide me. That place is not for the living, Sahib. It keeps things. I took only my professional gear. My F6 recorder, sensitive microphones, and a pair of monitoring headphones I trusted more than my own ears. Gomaikla was bone-chillingly cold. Wind howled through the broken windows. But inside the walls, a heavy, oppressive stillness took over. It wasn't peace. It was a compressed silence, as if the air was too thick to vibrate. The smell of dust, old bat guano, and something sweet and sharp, like incense that had burned out centuries ago. I walked through the ruined prayer hall, murals of wrathful gods peeling from the walls. In a small room at the back, almost buried by a collapsed beam, I found it. It wasn't a modern recorder. It was ancient. A heavy brass machine with large magnetic reels. It was intricately made, etched with symbols I didn't recognize. The strange part was, it looked almost new, not a speck of dust on it. A professional possessiveness rose in me. This was an artifact. There was no electricity, surely, but when I pressed my finger to a button, made of what looked like obsidian, it emitted a soft hiss. And then, the reels began to turn. I quickly put on my headphones, plugging an adapter into the strange output jack. I expected chance. Or just the wind. The first sound was gravel. Not gravel being stepped on, but gravel being gently sifted, maybe in a wooden bowl. The sound was incredibly close. Not in the center, but in my left ear. Then it panned smoothly to the right. Hyper-realistic. I could hear the smallest particles falling. Then, the whispering. A voice, maybe female, but impossibly deep. It wasn't speaking any language I knew. Just sibilant sounds, long ses and sh sounds, gliding over my eardrums like dry silk. Finally, the sound of pouring. Slow, viscous, not water, maybe honey or oil. That thick liquid sound, draining into a narrow container, making a deep, satisfying glug. A current ran down my spine, spreading across my scalp. It was ASMR, the brain tingle I sometimes chased online after a stressful day. But this was on another level. It was powerful, almost invasive. The relaxation was absolute. I sat there in the freezing monastery and felt warm, safe. I took the headphones off. The oppressive silence of the room rushed in. I shuddered, not from the cold. I quickly recorded the output of the strange device onto my F6. I had to analyze this file. That night, in my small guest house room, I couldn't sleep. The wind beat against the windows like small fists. I plugged my headphones into the F6. I played the Gomaikla recording. The gravel crunched in my left ear. The whispering glided past. The viscous liquid, the relaxation hit me like a drug. I fell into the deepest, most dreamless sleep I'd had in years. I started using it every night. It became my ritual. I'm a sound scientist. I told myself I was studying it. I ran it through analysis software. The waveform was bizarre. The whispering, when I tried to isolate it, seemed to lack a human fundamental frequency. It was like white noise shaped into speech. The gravel had a rhythm, It took me 3 days to realize it. The rhythm matched, almost perfectly, my own resting heart rate. I tried to ignore that. A coincidence. About a week later, things started to change. I was making tea. The kettle was screaming. I had my headphones on, but I was listening to classical music, not the recording. I grabbed the kettle, and as I poured the boiling water into my cup, I heard it, a deep, viscous glug. I looked at the clear, splashing water. The sound didn't match the sight. I took my headphones off. The normal hiss of boiling water returned. I put them back on. Classical music. I poured the tea again. Glug. The sound had grafted itself onto my brain, overlaying reality. I was unnerved. I decided to take a night off. I turned off all my gear. I lay in bed, listening only to the wind. But the silence wasn't empty anymore. I heard it, very faintly. The crunching gravel. I sat bolt upright. The sound stopped. I lay back down, trying to relax. My heart was pounding in my chest. And then I heard it in sync. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It wasn't in my headphones. It seemed to be coming from the wall, or from under the bed. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I tried to work. I went outside to record the wind whipping the prayer flags. I played back my recording, wind, the snap of fabric. And underneath it, very faint, was the whispering. A long sage sound. I looked at my microphone. The dead cat was on. There was no way wind could get in like that. I checked my gear. Perfect. I recorded again. Just me and the mountain. Record, playback, wind, fabric, whispering. The first spike of panic hit, cold and sharp. I ran back to the guest house. I plugged in my headphones. I put on the original recording from the monastery. I needed to confront it. It had changed. The gravel was there. The liquid was there. But the whispering, it was clearer. And it was no longer an ancient dialect. I could understand a word. Just one, repeated between the sibilant sounds. Ah, ya. Come here. In Hindi, come here. I ripped the headphones off. Threw them against the wall. I was gasping. This was an illusion. The altitude. The isolation. Sleep deprivation. My rational mind clung to the explanations. I had to delete it. I plugged the F6 into my laptop. I found the file. gomake_rec_01.wav. I dragged it to the trash. I emptied the trash. I formatted the SD card. Gone. I sat in the silence. The room was quiet. No gravel, no whispering. Just my own heartbeat. I let out a breath. So stupid. Just a corrupted audio file. That night, I woke up suddenly. The room was pitch black. I heard pouring. I ran to the small kitchen. The faucet was off. But the sound continued. The thick, viscous glug. It was coming from the drain. I turned on my phone's flashlight. The sink was empty and dry. The sound didn't stop. It was coming from inside the pipes. I backed away, bumping the table. A small bag of decorative pebbles I'd collected fell to the floor. The small stones scattered, crunching on the wood floor. Ah-ah-ya. The whisper wasn't coming from anywhere. It was in my head. It was everywhere. It was answering the gravel. I screamed. I ran outside into the freezing night. I ran toward the faint lights of the village. I had to find someone. I banged on the door of the village elder. The old man Tenzin, the one who had warned me about the monastery, opened it. His face was a walnut of wrinkles, his eyes black and bottomless. You heard it, he said. It wasn't a question. Please, I gasped. It's in my head. The sounds. I can't stop them. He sighed, a plume of white in the cold air. He let me in, gave me a cup of salty butter tea. My hands were shaking so badly, I spilled it. You think you are the first, Sahib? He said quietly. Engineers, explorers, seekers of silence. They all go make law. They all find the machine. What is it? What did it record? Tenzin shook his head. It does not record. It is a posh, a trap, a prison, made by the first monks. They found something on that mountain, older than the rock. Something without a shape, something that was only sound. A living frequency. My blood turned to ice. What do you mean? It is hungry, Tenzin said, repeating the warning I had scoffed at. It feeds on attention. It feeds on consciousness. The monks could not destroy it, so they used the laws of the universe to trap it. They created a sonic loop. The gravel is its patience. The water is its erosion. The whisper is its promise. They locked it inside that machine to listen only to itself for eternity. But I trembled. I heard it. Yes, Tenzin looked at me, and for the first time, I saw pity in his eyes. The trap has a flaw. The prison needs a jailer. But what if the jailer leaves? The entity learned. It waits. It needs something new to focus on. A new mind. A new heartbeat. It's trying to get out, I whispered. The old man set his cup down. The small click sounded like a gunshot in the quiet room. No, Sahib. That is what you all misunderstand. He leaned forward, his voice now barely a whisper. It cannot leave. The frequency is bound to that place. It isn't trying to get out. It is pulling you in. I didn't understand. Pulling me in where? That tingle, he said. That relaxation. What do you call it? SMR? We call it the synchronization. It is tuning you, tuning your heartbeat to its gravel, tuning your thoughts to its whisper. It doesn't need your body here. It needs your consciousness there. To take its place. I stared at him, my throat closing. Take its place? The posh must always have a prisoner. It has been locked in there for millennia. It is tired. It needs a replacement. I shot to my feet. The chair crashed backward. No, that's superstition. It's just sound. I'm leaving. I'm going down the mountain. I'll go to Delhi. I'll listen to loud music. It will go away. Tenzin didn't get up. He just watched me with that infinite sadness. You can leave. But can you take the silence with you? You have listened. You are synchronized. The next time you hear your own heart, what will you hear, Sahib? The next time you pour water, what will you hear? I ran. I didn't say thank you or goodbye. I ran back to my room, my brain screaming nonsense, nonsense. I grabbed my things, throwing everything into my backpack. I had to leave. Now, even in the dark, I would hike down the trail. I stopped. I needed my headphones. As much as I hated them, they were my most expensive piece of gear. I saw them on the floor where I'd thrown them. I picked them up. I checked my F6. I had formatted the card. It was empty. Good. I stuffed it all in my bag. And then I heard it. The faint, soft hiss of magnetic tape. I turned. The ancient brass recorder from the monastery was on my desk. I never brought it back. I swore I hadn't. I left it at Golmikla, but it was here. Sitting on my desk, the reels slowly turning. Silently. I wasn't wearing my headphones, but I could feel it. No, I whispered. I backed away, clutching my pack. I would ignore it. I would leave. I went to the door. I put my hand on the knob. The world outside disappeared. Not that it went dark. It went silent. The wind, gone. The creak of the hinge, gone. My own ragged breath, gone. Absolute, crushing, pressurized silence. No, not absolute. I heard the gravel. In my left ear, I heard the viscous liquid. In my right, I heard the whisper. Yeah. It wasn't in my ears. It was at the base of my skull. It was inside me. I turned around. The room was blurry. The brass machine was still there, reels turning. I tried to scream. No sound came out. Just a dry, sibilant rush from my throat. A long SHHH sound. I had made the sound. A new, unspeakable horror seized me. I looked down at my hands. I was trembling. I clenched them into fists. I felt my own knuckles grind against each other. Crunch, crunch. It was the sound of the gravel. I gasped, trying to pull in air. A deep, viscous glug echoed from deep in my chest, like a thick fluid moving through a narrow space. I had become the recording. I looked at the brass machine on the desk. It was spinning, and for the first time, I heard a new sound coming from it. Very faint, very distant. A scream. It was muffled and frantic. It was in my voice, and it was trying to get out. Thanks for watching until the end. What was your favorite part? Please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my future content. Your support is my biggest motivation. Thank you all so much.